Our guest today is a staff writer for Metrosphere magazine and author of the horror blog A Darkness Within. Here to tell us what he's been working on for the March issue of Metrosphere and to scare the heck out of us is Nick Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Hi, it's an honor to be here.
It's great to have you.
Absolutely.
So I know you from Metrosphere. Avery is new to your horror blog. Tell
Yes.
the audience a little bit about A Darkness Within and where that came from. You're such a nice guy.
Right.
But you write the scariest stuff.
Hard to imagine seeing this beautiful face, but so anyway, I started off in June. Just got kind of hired on. Wasn't sure what I was coming into, but I'd explained that I liked horror, so we decided to start a horror blog. And really, it has been tough week to week coming up with something new and original. But I've really just tried to explore the realm of horror, try to come up with something kind of unique, because I personally have gotten bored with some of the old horror movies, the same formulas, you know, the knife and the shower scene and everything. But really what I've tried to do throughout the years, just come up with something fresh and new, and at the same time, you know, scare the pants off of people while I'm doing it.
Yeah, you do. I read it with all the lights on. I really do.
Absolutely.
And it's usually not the last thing before I go to sleep. But
Definitely.
you, I think, have done a great job of always finding an original angle each week, which is challenging, but you do it well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that something you would like to go into as horror films and writing for them? Or?
It is. I'd actually like to get into books. I've been minoring in writing here on campus, but this past semester I've gotten into screenplay writing, which has actually been a lot of fun. And I've talked to a few people on campus about possibly going on with a few projects of different sorts. But as I'm graduating this upcoming May, just want to get out there and see what's available, possibly look into film school, and also majoring in psychology, so kind of jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It's that psychology. That's why you're so good at scaring
There you
us,
go.
'cause
Right,
know how to
right.
get into
I
our
know a little
brain.
bit behind the psycho killers that I'm creating.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so is that a genre that you always gravitated to when you were a kid, reading books, watching movies, or is it something later in life that kind of drew your attention?
Actually, as a kid, I think I've been writing since about 3rd grade. 5th grade, I was really into fantasy. I did the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing, so
Okay.
I'd kind of incorporate things from the adventures. But I am actually visually blind, legally blind, so books weren't that readily available to me as a kid. I have equipment now, but it was very hard to get a hold of in the 80s and 90s. So Stephen King was actually one of the few writers that offered the books in large print. So he was one of the first authors I was able to read independently at home without any assistance.
Oh,
and
great.
reading so many of these, I actually was never really into horror that much, but kind of got me into the genre, and it's a really great genre for kind of manipulating people's emotions. So it worked out well for me. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, seeing people's horrified faces till they get to see this wonderful smile.
And you're like a big teddy bear in the office,
Right.
but yeah, the stuff that you come up with is amazing to me. And now you have the blog, but you write for the magazine as well. You have a piece coming out in the March issue.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. That was a different experience.
Yes. So with the new 50 Shades of Grey coming out and Valentine's Day coming up, we thought it would be fun to do a theme on alternative types of romance. So I'm doing a piece on BDSM. I've actually visited a dungeon and talked with one of the headmistresses in Colorado. So it was a very new experience and a different world to kind of get into. But I had a lot of fun with it and very nice people going through the interview process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so is that, you said you visited a dungeon in Denver.
I did, and it was actually a sub-dungeon, so I could hear things going on next door in the actual dungeon. I didn't get to see it, but we should get some pictures of that.
Okay.
But honestly, it just looked like a regular apartment, saw some weird-looking chairs and stuff. She showed me a thing of mealworms, told me how first time she touched them, it was a little bit of a scary experience for her, but she's used to it, so I didn't ask questions, but again, it was a very interesting experience.
Do you think that the reality piece that you just finished is going to inform the fantasy piece for your blog down the road? Do you think that'll be a potential theme for for the next Darkness Within, or?
Possibly, and it's always fun and within my realm to explore things that people don't understand as much or might not be
Sure.
as informed about. So, so many different ways you can go about it, and you know, they say it's BDSM is something you need to be very aware of because it can be dangerous. So, you know, that's a foot in the door for me.
Interesting. Well, I look forward to reading that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think, is there anything else that you're working on or you're thinking of? Any preview you want to give our guests?
Just keep up with the blogs. I've worked it into a weekly slot instead of bi-weekly. So instead of just stories, I'm also doing movie reviews, doing some serial killer profiles, and just some other creative things I can come up with. So my actual stories will be about every other week, but every first week then try to figure out something creative, something a little spooky. So.
And those blogs are at where again?
If you go to mymetmedia.com, go to Metrosphere and go down to blog, you'll find them right down there. I am a Darkness Within, and if you want to see the whole plethora, go ahead and click on my name. It'll show you everything I've written.
Very
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Thomas, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, thank
Absolutely,
you.
it's
Good
been
to
an
have you with
honor.
us. Yeah, thank you again.